Welcome back to Society Games Files. My name is Robert, and today I want to talk about a movie. I haven't done it in a while, and I finally watched something new, so I thought it was a great time to go ahead and do a review. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Otherwise, we're going to dive right in. So I've kind of made it clear in other videos, I don't really go to the theater anymore. I don't even know what it would take to get me to go, especially after what I just watched. I bought the movie The Monkey, Stephen King's story from 1980. That's when the short story was written. And I'd been wanting to see it since I even heard it existed. And yet, despite that, I still didn't get out to the theater to catch it. So I know that this might be a late review in a lot of ways, but if you're like me and you prefer to just see things at home, or you just don't want to go through the expense of the theater or whatever other reason, then I'm here for you today. The cost was $25 on iTunes or Apple TV if you prefer. Basically, you could buy it for $25 or rent it for $19. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to not just spend the extra $5 and have it, I guess. Noteworthy thing, I really wanted to also see The Wolfman, but I did not buy that when it came out for the $25. I actually waited, and it only took about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, and it dropped down to $10. So if you're thrifty, and that's why you don't want to go to the theater, which I completely understand, it's absurdly expensive, then generally speaking, I'm sure The Monkey will be a lower price here in the next few weeks, probably by the end of April at the most. It will at the very least drop down to buy for $20 and possibly even be $15 or even $9. Let's just talk about the movie now. The Monkey is self-proclaimed gory and over the top. If you go in knowing that, then I think you'll be prepared for how insane it actually gets. The violence in this is absolute madness. I mean, it's just ridiculously gross. It's so gross, in fact, that I didn't really find the movie at all scary. I thought it was darkly funny, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but it was a horror movie primarily because it's just so freaking nasty. I mean, it's horrifying what's happening too, but the over the top, really nasty, disgusting stuff makes it harder to take that seriously in a way. So it's just not really going to be the scariest movie you see. Now, by contrast, James Wan produced this, and the Conjuring movie, the very first one, that bothered me for days. It really got me. This movie, an hour after it was done, I didn't feel, squeed out or scared about anything. I didn't jump at the shadows in the house. There was nothing going on. So much as I really, really, really love this movie, and I should say that, I did love this movie, as far as horror movies go, it didn't leave a lasting impact of spookiness or creepiness. The people in it, Theo James is amazing playing both those characters. I think he did a damn good job, especially since he had to adopt an American accent. The little kid who played the younger version of those two characters was absolutely stunning. I had to look it up to see if it was the same guy. He did such a good job for me. Other than that, everybody in it was very interesting. There's all kinds of just crazy stuff that happens, and the way that people respond to it is over the top and complete madness. You kind of have to get into the world with it quickly. Otherwise, I think you'd probably consider it just totally absurd, and you might even check out. I really understood what I was getting before I went in. So I think that I was able to really acclimate to the world they were presenting right away. And I mean, it's not just the spooky, creepy stuff that is absolutely insane. It's the everyday sort of philosophy that people are espousing to one another that just comes off as completely unhinged ramblings in some cases. So if you do decide to watch The Monkey, really go into it with an open mind to know that it's not going to be the most serious thing, that they are trying to be funny in a really horrifying way, and that much of the humor is so dark, it's just kind of wrong. And, for whatever reason, that hit for me. I found myself laughing far more often than I probably should have. It did remind me that occasionally I have been to the theater and laughed at things that nobody else found funny, and I felt awkward. Well, at least at home I can just have my cats look at me like I'm a freak. But I don't know. It may be that this movie does have an audience of people who are a little bit deranged in their humor and that sort of thing. It's kind of got the same vibes as something like Ready or Not. If you've seen that, then you might, and you liked it, then you will probably like The Monkey quite a bit. Just a general idea of what you're getting. The Mummy is about these twin brothers who discover that their father had this toy monkey that plays the drums, and it's basically every time it plays, somebody dies in a horrific, bizarre accident of some kind. So that's the idea, and it starts the movie with them as children, and then it progresses to the point where they're adults. So it has a little bit of the It structure. You know, you get the past, you get the modern day. Now, when it was written in 1980, I'm assuming that the kids were probably children in the 60s and grew up to be in the late 70s for the story. But in this, they're born in 1999 and it's taking place in the modern day. So you get a little bit more of the modern conveniences, cell phones and that kind of thing. But all around, I don't want to give too much away. Any other discussion will really lead to some pretty hefty spoilers. And honestly, part of the joy of this is to be surprised by some of the utterly absurd things that happen. And mostly the things that people say and how they respond to it. Because there are characters in this that really do represent the audience. Normal people who are like, wow, that's really weird. But then there's this cast of people around them that are like, what? No, this is fine. So anyway, I really hope that you give The Monkey a try. I'm assuming that it'll be available on some kind of streaming service that you already pay for, probably by June at the latest. I mean, if you've waited this long, what's another couple weeks or even a month? It will likely go down in price as well. As I said at the beginning of the video, I would see it being $10 by June as well. So you've got some options, but if you were kind of gagging for The Monkey and you were kind of on the fence about whether or not to spend the $25, I personally feel like if you've got a decent setup, if you can really focus and spend some time with it and not be distracted by life around you, then it's probably worth the money. I mean, if I would have taken my wife and I to see it, it would have cost us more than $25 to get in, get something to eat, you know, the risk of having people disrupt the theater. I think it's an okay deal for a movie you are very much anticipating. But what do you think? Have you seen The Monkey? Do you like Stephen King adaptations? Do you prefer to see things in the theater like that? Or are you a fan of catching these movies at home? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you again soon. This is Robert with Society Case Files, signing off.